Look, a lot of people have this misconception about bloodlines.
Are you recording now?
And I want you to explain what is your input about bloodlines, and the way you explain in the phone call that you have just now was amazing. So I want you I want to make a video about it, because I think it's a lot of people misunderstood what is a bloodline is, you know.
A bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a time where the word bloodline was attached to the most important word, which people on this generation did not learn. And the bloodline was attached to the brand, because the bloodlines are birthed out of a brand. The bloodlines are birthed out of a brand. Pay attention to what I just said. Mm-hmm. The bloodlines are birthed out of a brand. In other words, nobody's going to create a bloodline. There's going to be no bloodline production. Nobody's going to follow or care or look at anything that don't have a brand. A bloodline comes from a pig. The whole dogs is a pigs and valleys. It's many valleys and one pig. I want to phrase the words out of Jordan Peterson, which are very close. They're exactly the same words that I took from the Bible. When I said Matthew 22:14, there were many called, yet few are chosen. And he made a video the other day, and he says, everything is in the hands of the few. When it comes to the most population of the world, they're not everywhere. They're in a few cities. Few cities around the world, that the top 60 cities around the world have most of the population. Mm-hmm. When it comes to, let's say, soccer, we call it football. The best players in the world, they're going to say Maradona or Pelé, that's two. And if you're going to say on the last 15 years, you're going to say two names, Messi or Ronaldo. And the best clubs, you're going to say maybe, you're going to say Barcelona, or you're going to say Real Madrid, and maybe two or three more, maybe Juventus, I don't know. But it's going to be a few clubs. And the majority of people that play the sport are going to be relevant to the grand scheme of quality. When it comes to stuff like that, you know, when it comes to, there is absolutely no chance for someone you don't have to pay anything. You know, close your eyes and say the name of the car that you want. You don't pay anything. Most people will not choose the car that they currently own. Whether they own a Toyota, whether they own a Corvette, most people that are smart, they'll say Bugatti. They'll give you the number. Somebody going to say Rolls Royce, somebody going to say Maybach, somebody's going to say Ferrari. They're going to say their name to the best when there is no price involved, because they understand something that is called the brand. So when you have a bloodline or when you have a breed, you're looking at an ocean that is too large. You're looking at large, so you say cars, that will be the breed. There's all different. When you say Corvettes, you're looking at a particular bloodline of Corvettes. But when you're looking at the Ferrari, you're looking at the brands of the Ferraris, and then you're looking at the Enzo, the F50, the fastest car, whatever. You always boil down to quality. So when you have a bloodline, it's impossible for you to have quality, because if he's not on certain bloodlines, let's say you have a man that has 200 plus title dogs, and he produced maybe 1,000 dogs, so the numbers will be 1 out of 5. That's impossible numbers, literally impossible, but they're possible. But let's say on Jeep, for instance, what happens to Jeep? One dog, maybe 15 small pigs that came from him, whether it's Jeep, whether it's, you know, the son of him, Shorty or Rocky, and so on and so forth. There's just a few dogs that come like that. The big scheme of things, the 100,000 dogs have a major problem. In order for you to have these 100,000 dogs that come out of the same bloodline, 99% of all these dogs, they might carry the look of it. They might be linked to a pedigree to it, but they are not it. They don't have the quality. They cannot represent Jeep. It's the same thing with Mayday, for instance. And I like to mention Mayday because it's fresh on the mind of a lot of people. Mayday was an asteroid that came from another world. I give this romantic description of it. that when he came, everybody was playing like which bloodline is better. One bloodline will have some momentum, one Dogman another momentum. The Mayday came in, and everybody dropped the bloodlines they had and started buying dogs of a Mayday or started crossing their dogs to Mayday. But are all Mayday dogs created equal? No, they're not. There were some, and then there's one dog that's the best, and from that dog you can get other dogs that make into different levels. So when it comes to details, is evil lives in the detail. Evil, the devil, lives in the details. The guy that do not look at the details, the guy never has success. And why bloodlines are so important is not because that every element within the bloodline. Bloodlines are important because the bloodlines are created for one dog or one man. Like you say Carver dogs. So which Carver dogs? Oh, Honey Bunch, that's one dog. You say, oh, Honey Bunch, okay, which dog from Honey Bunch? You say Jeep. Okay, which dog from Jeep? You say these, and so on and so forth. And so when it comes to the dogs, the most important part is going to be the brand, which is actually going to be the breeder. If you want to know, Chico Lopez, which is the brand of the dogs, is the breeder. Why the dog is important and why the brand is important. Let me explain to you something. When one special dog comes to life, all the other dogs completely are irrelevant. Because the American Pit Bull Terrier is different than all the other breeds. The American Pit Bull Terrier is a progressive, continuous competition to the mountain, to the top, to the pinnacle, to the summit of the mountain. And then on top of the summit of the mountain, you have a little tip that's called the apex, okay? Like an apex seal on a rotary motor. The apex is the very top. So at the very top of the apex, this is the one that everybody wants to be like. And everyone that's under, it became second place, third place, fourth place. And we all know the second place is first loser. So the best will always be, who is the breed? Ciega the Great. That is the sample of the breed. And it has been checked by people that didn't even know who was Ciega the Great and became that. So it's always a sample. Mayday became the breed. Why became the breed? Oh, other people have other bloodlines, other dogs. Those dogs became obsolete. That's why. Because the other dogs became obsolete. His presence, his existence eliminated that. Oh, but some people are breeding in some obscure places around the world. They don't matter. Because what matters are merits. The reason why Mayday became the greatest dog of his era was because the merits that he had in the areas of performance, how he did it, where he did it, into who he did it, and then because the strong word called Ram, he became a producer that produced producers, that produced producers, that produced producers, that produced producers, that produced producers. So following the thin line of producers, you get to the best Mayday dogs. If the dog is just a combination of somebody that don't have a brand, let me explain to you what somebody that don't have a brand. And he says, I have the bloodline from Mayday, because I'm answering your question through a different loop. I hope you still engage. You have a guy that says, oh, I got the Mayday bloodline. He has no brand. What is his name? Whatever. Who is this guy? Who knows him? What he has done? But he has very tight bloodline. What are these dogs have done? Who is this guy? Again, the same question over and over. So you have a combination of performance, production, quality. The less men you have involved, the better the quality might be. If there are merits, no merits, nothing. So having a bloodline and having a pedigree became one of the biggest scams in the last 30 years of the breed. When there was no internet, there were some books that people made of pedigrees. There were the books of pedigrees. So you will see the most important pedigrees of the dogs of the era. So people, when they look at these pedigrees, they'll be like this, like, oh my God, I gotta get it. This pedigree is very important and very important. You respect these pedigrees because they made it to the book. But once it went online and opened everything, you have a really clown level, low level, crappy dog that he somehow is attached to this guy, to this guy, to this guy, to this guy, to this guy. Oh, I got a bolio dog. I got a bolio dog. What got a Mayday dog? 70%. But he came from a nobody dog, bred by nobody person, and it doesn't matter. That is an automatically a disqualification. Somebody come in and say, Chico Lopez, I got a friend of mine that the daughter of Mayday, bred it to another son of Mayday, and became 100% Mayday, and now it's 120% Mayday. I don't want to meet that guy. I have nothing for him, because that's not how I breed, and that's not what matters. What matters is how you are the apex within the breed, within that apex become the bloodline all the time. So when you want to know, say, what's the bloodline? The apex. What's the bloodline? The brand. Everybody else within the bloodline don't matter.
It's like you said that in the times of Carver.
I gave you a very short video.
I know. It's like you said, in the times of Carver, other people was breeding dogs.
Absolutely.
They become
Very
irrelevant.
important. What you just mentioned now is exactly correct. In the times of Carver, there were a few men that made it to some level, but Carver was the most important man of the era. He maybe and 2-3 other guys were the most important guy, but he's the one that most remember because he was gifted with a special eye that he can see somebody else's dog, and maybe they don't like their own dog. Are you sure you don't like it? Oh yeah, I think he's a bad dog. Let me buy. Take the dog and make him run and make something because the guy was blessed with an eye. Now there's guys that are blessed with an eye, other people develop the eye, and some men are extremely lucky, and they combine these lucky moments, lucky strikes with knowledge, with dedication, with financial investment, with their whole life to create these beautiful brands and these beautiful things. And those men were not breeders, they were actually dogmen. They don't make a model for dogmen no more, and there's no dogmans that will be created. And the reason why there's no dogmans that will be created, let me explain to you how. If today they close all the racetracks around the world for Formula One, for NASCAR, for whatever, you cannot tell me you're a race car driver when there is no tracks for you to run. Now, the old guys like John Force, that rides, the tracks are closed, but the man knows a lot about cars. You know, and he's still without these racetracks, I will go to him for him to set up a car for me because I know he's a real car driver. So there's no dogmans to be birthed no more. So therefore, I said to people, the most important part, it is the brand is the man, and the man must have a pedigree. If the name of the man, which is the brand, is not attached to performance, is not attached to greatness, is only a mouthpiece, japping an opinion and rhetoric and stories and maybe hate, that man is absolutely worthless. You want to know who you don't need to listen to is one that has an opinion about another man, but himself hasn't done nothing. So let's say you come to me and say, Chico, what is your opinion about that guy? Say, stay away from it. But why? But you're asking me because I have a pedigree. I have a pedigree. I have a name. I am a brand. So you ask me those questions. But will you stop a bum in the street and ask him for questions about a heart operation? You know, I'm going to get a heart surgery. I would like to know your opinion. The opinion of that bum is completely worthless. So when it comes to dogs, which is a very scientific process, most real top-of-the-line dogmen, 30 years plus. 30 years plus with merits, because without merits is 1 year of experience, some cases, with 29 years of repetition, which it means it's a rookie. For 1 year, is a rookie still. So it'll be a one year rookie with 29 plus years of being a rookie. So you have a 30 years in the dogs, rookie. You know, so that's why I always said it's much better to be a great dog owner than be a fake dogman.
Yeah.
You know?
Most of the time when people talk about somebody else and complainers and this guy has nothing.
Absolutely nothing to offer you.
them.
If somebody is talking about something, I'll go and say, listen, hey, I want to ask you a question. The apex of the breed, how close are you to the apex? Because I want to listen to whatever you are saying. I want to listen to you. How close are you to the apex? Let me get the name of your grand champions. Where is my pen? Where is my notepad? I don't see it, please. I want to take the name of all the grand champions you made, all the great stories and people that respect you because you are very, you added value to the breed, because I want to listen to you. I want to spend 10 hours looking at every video you have on your channel. You don't have none of this? So you mean to tell me you didn't create nothing? You haven't. You're talking about people, but you don't have anything. All right, let me shut it off. I'm looking for someone that actually is part of the apex. So that's why the bloodline is like a race. You know, not all Latinos are in certain things. You know, not all Latinos, not all Argentinians are Messi. Not all Argentinians are not all Brazilians are Pelé either, and not all my African American brothers are Mike Tyson or Michael Jordan.
Or Usain Bolt.
Or Usain Bolt in Jamaica. So not everybody. So again, you know, we go back to the same thing. Everything is in the hands of the few. So that's why the chosen few. There were many called, yet few are chosen. You know. So I hope you like the video. If you like it, put a comment below. Say, I love the damn video. I want to see videos more like this. Because if you don't, I will not make them anymore. And hit like so everybody can get a thing about the video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.